Good afternoon. Welcome to liveshopping.vip. Look who's back in the house. My mate Jamie's back.
Hello.
I love it when Jamie comes in. You come in with a really calm, serene
Do I?
aura about you.
I?
Yes, you do.
Okay, thank
yes,
you.
you
I'll
do.
take that.
I
I don't
like
have
it. It's
any of
always,
my
and you're
family
always
agree.
smiling. I
I
love
try
it.
to smile. Life's too short not to
Brilliant.
smile.
Yeah, you're quite right there. Right, so we did a show a couple of weeks ago and we wanted to bring the items back for you because they were super popular. Now, I want to explain the difference between Highlight Crafts live shopping and liveshopping.vip website because it's important that you understand why we're doing two separate things. And the reason is that live shopping is going to get bigger and bigger and bigger, and our website can't cope with all that traffic. So what we did was we set up liveshopping.vip, and what that means is that our suppliers, when Jamie goes home this afternoon, his product doesn't go with him. It stays on that website as a brand shop, which is fabulous. So if you see Jamie using glues and different products throughout these demonstrations and they're not on the show, you can add them to your basket when you get to liveshopping.vip, which is brilliant because you can shop in the brand shop. The other reason that we did it, and probably one of the most important reasons, is because then the suppliers like Jamie can give you the discount that they want to give you. And very often, so for example, on the big mega bundle, it's $79.99, but you've got a £24.92 saving. That's a lot more than 10%. So it's all good stuff when you go shopping on there, and the product's there all the time, which is fabulous. So how to shop and where to watch. You can watch us on YouTube, on your big TV. It's great now, right?
Handy.
You can watch us on Facebook, Instagram, and on our website, which is liveshopping.vip. If you're going to shop on either of the social platforms, we're going to show you a product and that product will have a code, and all you need to do is type shop and then that code into the comments underneath the video so you don't miss a second of what Jamie's going to teach you. Then you're going to get a message that says thank you for your order, and in that message there's a link. When you're ready to turn those goodies into Happy Post, click that link and that will take you to checkout. Log in and then you can check out your basket. If you're shopping directly on liveshopping.vip, you can just add the products to your basket, which is super easy to do. And then you'll get a little bag appear at the top of your screen. Click on that when you're ready to check out and go through that process. So it couldn't be easier. There's nothing worse than having to come away from watching something to
awful.
shop, right?
Yeah, exactly.
Drives you crazy, doesn't it?
Mm-hmm.
So
simplified.
Perfect.
We like that.
There we go. Right. Sophie, I'm just going to ask you to put the aircon in. Are you warm?
I'm fine.
I'm melting. Yeah,
Oh,
I'm
well,
literally going to end up
bring on the
aircon.
aircon.
Bring on the aircon. Bring it on. Moment. We will, absolutely.
Okay, deal.
Right, so first of all, we've got a mega bundle. This is amazing value for money. How you've done this for that price, I don't know.
We like a bargain.
You do. You're good. Shop Mega. It's going to get you everything from here to the end of that counter. All of it. I know, mad, right? Brilliant though. $79.99, you've got a £24.92 saving. Right, Jamie, let's show our lovely friends at home what they're getting for the pennies, please.
So we'll start off then with some of our instruments. There's lots to this collection. It goes off in a few different tones, but this is our musical collection. So we'll start off with our guitar. So in with the guitar, you receive 3 dies, giving you the ability to cut and place and build as you wish to. This means that it's really easy to bring in different colours and different effects, maybe different mediums even, to highlight different pieces and then build up our guitar to give us completely different effects. And this works really nicely when we want to create effects like Ian has here. I love this. It just reminds me of a little music shop. I really love this. Like you're going in and picking your favourite to purchase. And I really like that, and it's made easy by having the 3 dies.
Absolutely.
So that's your guitar one. Then we move on to our saxophone. So in with our saxophone, not only do we receive our saxophone element, we also receive a treble clef and a couple of music notes as well. Now, of course, those can work with any of the different elements to help you build up and create more of a scene. This one is bringing in our saxophone. It's also got our flowers, our foliage, and our kaleidoscope that we'll be coming up to shortly. This one is bringing in our lovely Ralph. Ralph is our rocker. He's in this collection and he will be coming up shortly. But it's lovely to see how Ralph can also be using the saxophone as well as the other instruments throughout this collection. So I'll share with you just a few of those there to give you some ideas, and then we'll take you on to our violin. So the third one in this collection is our violin. This is a 1 die in the set, and as it cuts, it's also going to deboss for you beautifully. So again, if you'd like to highlight those with different mediums, maybe our waxes, maybe our inks, like I have on this card here, it's really easy to do to create different styles to them. These will also fit quite nicely on small cards as well. So like this little dinky one here, I love this. This is so cute. This is a little easel done by Lynn,
look at that.
using the octagons which are coming up. But it's just really nice to see how you can go quite dinky with these as well as big if you want to.
Yeah, love that.
Then we move on to our last musical instrument as such. We've got our piano. So in with the piano die set, there are 3 dies. That means that we have got our filigree musical lid to our piano. We then have our solid outside edge, so we can just leave that plain if we wish, or we could cut it in another colour or maybe a self-adhesive sheet, put the music over the top and then add flakes like we've brought you on today's show, for instance. You've then got the piano keys, and this die cuts in 2 pieces at one time, so you can then bring them back together and place your keys back inside the actual board and create the piano effect. Very easy to do. When we bring these into some cards, you can see that again, although this is quite a nice size die, it's not too big or too overwhelming, so you can add more elements onto your cards if you'd like to. This one's another easel. I will try and get that so I can show it to you because I think it's lovely. If we actually open it up, again, you can see all of the octagons that are going to be coming up for you shortly, mixed in with some of the other components throughout this collection as well. And then if you do like to make smaller cards, of course the piano is going to work for you in that sense as well. Or if you'd like to go a bit bolder,
Look at that.
I think this is one we actually demoed when I was here last time, so
What's
they can
the
watch this one
background?
catch up.
Is it a stamp?
This is a stamp, and again, the stamp is one that you'd find on our brand shop. This is our newsprint stamp.
I love that.
I love a newsprint.
That's
anything
amazing.
vintage.
Yeah,
And it kind of works, and it goes in really well with the travel collection that we've brought you today as well.
Yes.
You'll see a bit of a theme building throughout this year with the stamps we've brought you, with the mechanical collection we've brought you with now, the vintage collection. Even though it all goes together.
How
Everything
fantastic.
coordinates.
That's what we
everything
want. We want to
matches.
add one more thing to make everything else more, expand everything else,
Yeah.
don't we, that we've already got, which
That's
is
exactly
great.
what we need, isn't it?
absolutely.
Then we move on to Ralph. We see Ralph sneaking a little bit earlier. This is our Ralph the Rocker set. Now in this set, not only do we receive the dies to cut out Ralph and all of his instruments and pieces, we've got the matching stamps. So everything here can be stamped and then cut out. Obviously not your sentiments and bits, but all of your main focal pieces, you're going to have matching dies to go with them, to cut them out and to build them up. Now Ralph is one of our cuddly clan critters as such, or animals, characters I suppose I should say, which is great because it means that you can mix and match Ralph in with Deirdre, in with Henry, in with all of the different collections. So for instance, this is Deirdre, if you've not met Deirdre before. Deirdre is our disco diva, so she fits in perfectly with Ralph the Rocker and would work perfectly to sort of build up a scene.
I love these.
Sharon actually did a sample for us where she put them all together in like a little bandstand kind of
Yeah.
thing. And that worked really nicely too, giving them all different instruments.
Fantastic.
But whether you use them just as Ralph and just with his instruments, or whether you use them more as background pieces, take the sentiments from in this set and use them with the other elements, it's all to play for. It's all there to explore and build up your scenes, build
Love
up
that.
your characters.
You can tell the design team like this because you've got loads of samples, haven't you?
There is
You can always tell,
loads.
can't you, when
I've got
they love
more
it?
and more to
I
go,
know,
but
amazing.
yeah, they're just, and it's great to see the different characters coming in, bringing in the different instruments as well, bringing it all together.
Love
it all
that.
matches.
Okay, so we're still going.
We are still going. So
Which is
from
fabulous,
there,
right?
So in my mind, when I create collections, I try to do them in different layers, as I'm sure many
Yes.
people do.
Yes.
So they're all of like your middle ground, your focal point, not your finishing touch, we'll get to those, and not your background. That's where we're going next. So this is the element to me that we're going to use as our background, build everything up on top of. This is the kaleidoscope octagons. And in here you receive 21 dies. When I flip this over, you'll see that you've got 8 filigree panels. You've got 8 separate outside edges. You've then got a scalloped octagon to build all this back up on top of. And then you have 4 matching corners that complement the designs found through the segments. Now you can go for the pattern you see here, and you can have all of these different pieces put into one design. But the idea more is that you're going to pick your favourites and build your backgrounds out of those. Now they don't have edges attached to the filigree panels, so that means that you can cut them into your backgrounds. You could cut this into your card blank, you could do patterns and cut them in all different angles if you wanted to. Or, again, you can match them up.
Little Christmas trees.
Yeah, Christmas trees are perfect. There is a
They'd be
card
lovely.
here somewhere. If we skip forward
There you go.
to where I've taken them, and I've actually embossed them here,
Yeah.
because you've got the separate panels again, and we'll talk about the stencil in a second. This is actually embossed with the stencil, but it is showing you how you could turn them into Christmas trees.
Fabulous.
Then, of course, as I mentioned, you've got your corners to match in with it all as well. So it's up to you whether you stick to one design, go for multiple designs, go for multiple colours, whether you layer them with the background panels behind them in one shade, or like Lynn has here, gone for multiple backing colours in different shades, or maybe you just want to go monochromatic. The choice really is yours.
I love that one, this one. I think that's super stylish.
Thank you.
They're
There are
lovely,
so
aren't they?
many ways in which you're going to be able to take this off to, and so many occasions. You know, there are musical elements in here, but to me, Christmas is never far away, and I can see a lot of those being dressed up for Christmas.
And also, just looking at those dies again, you've got a positioning die in there, which is really clever, haven't you? Because you've got your outside edge, so you can position them all together, and then it works in conjunction with your stencil as well, doesn't it?
It does.
Is super cool.
So
this is clever.
Your stencil really come about. This was Lynn on our design team who suggested this to us, and I always have to give credit to her for this one. When you're coming to put your segments back in place, and I'll show you this one we demoed.
It's really clever.
The segments will all fit back inside the apertures left within the stencil. You may see it, it's never easy, but around the edge here is a scalloped octagon that's been engraved into the stencil. That matches the octagon that is going to be cut out from this die set. So you cut that out, you literally place it on your stencil, you can tape it down, flip the stencil over, and then you can position all of the pieces back in place knowing that they're perfectly spaced out.
It's a fabulous concept, really, really clever. You can tell it's been designed by a crafter. Going to say that's for sure.
I think we come at things, find the problems, and then try to find how we can fix them, don't we?
Absolutely, we do, without a shadow of a doubt. Now, if you're looking for individuals of any of these, you will find them in the brand shop. Okay, we haven't added all of it to the show because it takes forever to get down the counter. One of the best demonstrators in the industry is this gentleman stood here.
Can't I say that? Thank you.
You're very welcome, and I don't say it lightly either. He's brilliant at what he does, so we want to get as much demo time in as possible. So if you want individuals, they are available. They will be on the brand shop on liveshopping.vip.
Individuals for these are on the show.
Oh, so you're going to scroll them through. Brilliant. Thanks, Sophie. Right, next.
Last bit in the bundle is your flowers and your foliage. So as I say, we've done our focal parts, we've done our background parts. Let's do our finishing touches. So I'm going to do these together so you can see them quickly because they're used throughout all the samples together. But we've got the rippled star blooms and we've got the lavish foliage. Now the lavish foliage is 3 separate dies bringing you your foliage pieces. Your rippled star blooms is a swift die, as Mel educated me and told me.
There you go.
But it's one panel die giving you all of the pieces together. It's going to cut out 8 pieces for you in one pass through your machine. And what you might not spot straight away is it actually means you're getting 2 of every size. So when it comes to building them up, it's a lot quicker to do.
I love that.
It's just quick, isn't it?
Because the boring bit's the die cutting.
Absolutely. We know what's going to happen in the machine, don't we? We just have to wait impatiently for it to happen.
We do.
So let's give you more so it can be done quicker. When this one cuts, not only will it cut, it will deboss for you. So these are heavily etched dies, so all of those marks you see on the die are going to pass through onto the flowers, and then you're going to be able to shape them, form them from there. This is a little look at what the foliage is going to look like to correspond with that flower. Now, if I just show you a few samples, I know you've seen this one already, but let's bring in a white work one, sharing with you the corners, the flowers, even some of the layers that we're going to be coming up to shortly. Or maybe you'd prefer to ink them. Maybe you'd prefer to take them off and turn them into poinsettias. Maybe you'd like to highlight that debossed effect. This is just cutting in white, going over with a black ink pad and letting that white level shine through.
How cool is that?
Maybe you want to build it up further, lots more layers. Maybe you do want to go back to your white work and you want to bring in them segments we were talking about and make a panel out of those. Or this one's beautiful. This is vellum. Vellum dipped in our gilding flakes. Look at that for pretty.
Wow.
Or maybe you want to take it off and do more of like a cherry blossom-esque style, just focusing on the smaller ones.
Yeah,
Loads
fantastic.
we can do with them. Loads.
Right, that's excellent. So that's everything that you're getting. Shop Mega, $79.99. I don't know you've done all that for that, but I'm really pleased that you have. And I guess you're pleased that we have as well. That is fabulous. So Shop Mega is going to get you that for $79.99. You've got a £24.92 saving on that. Well, next, I love these.
Now we move on to our
These are
octagons.
just brilliant, Jamie. The way that these have been designed and the thought that's gone into them is just incredible.
Thank you.
Let's talk our lovely friends through these because these are superb.
So these that we have, I'm going to lay them out for you so you can possibly see them. That might be slightly easier than me sort of holding them all up. We have 5 different octagons and I'm going to show them all to you at once because they all interchange.
They do.
So with each set you've got different outside edges as such. So we start off here with our plain set. In here are 24 dies And actually, we are going to flip it over so you can see what I mean.
Wow.
We'll give you every single option we can, all the way up to 8 inches, from about 3/4 of an inch as a rough guess at the moment, but 24 different plain edges. The exciting bit to me is when we bring these two in, and it's all about the interchangeability, but it's these two that give you so many more options. This is your decal, edge and stitch set, and this one is your scalloped and pierced set. And we class them as two different things because they are two different things. Your pierced line is separate from your scallop line. Your stitch line is separate from your decal line. And that means you can take these lines, you can use them completely on their own if you'd like to. You could just put them down onto a sheet and just cut these in, or you can start yo-yoing these through all of your different dies. So maybe you want to add in a scalloped edge with a stitch line with a plain centre. You can do that because they're all going to fit and they're all going to match.
Amazing.
Then, because we felt we needed even more options, we've bought you the postage stamp edge and the fluted edge, so that you've got even more styles. And these ones have got 12 dies in each of them. And again, they're going to fit within these different dies. So maybe you want to bring forward the stitch one and put it into the fluted. Maybe you want to bring forward the pierced one and put it into the postage. And then maybe cut out the middle using the plain. Everything interchanges, everything plays around, so you can create endless options. We tried to work out a number on one of the shows once, didn't we?
Yeah, we did.
And we ended up in like dizzying numbers.
Yeah, it's crazy. Just the versatility of this, even if you just want to do your stitch and your dots and your stitch and your dot and your stitch and your dot and create a background that you just like making really simple cards, but you need some texture in the background, these are going to work for those. If you're a card maker and you're a die cutter, you need dies like this, because not only are they the shapes that they are, but they're apertures, they're frames.
They are.
You can cut them half of it out of the front of your card and have just half of an octagon. They're so versatile. These, if you made an octagon base, would be a lovely lid on a box.
Oh, it would be
as well,
absolutely
wouldn't
gorgeous,
they?
yes.
But to have that, instead of bringing you a set of scallop with a pin dot, and it's a really clear dot, that, isn't it?
Very prominent.
Instead of bringing you that and then bringing you it with a stitch and then bringing it you plain, we're doing it so, or Jamie's done it so that they're interchangeable. That's really clever. And that, again, is a crafter knowing what crafters want, because these are fabulous. Look at that, just
a slightly slow crafter, because it took me a very long time. It wasn't until after the last shows that I went home and I was like, hang on a minute, why don't we start layering the different shapes together?
Right.
So I've called this the triple layer look.
That's beautiful.
And you'll find all of the others on the website as well. But what I'm pointing to here is we've got our scalloped and pierced circles with our plain circles, layered onto, of course, our scallop and pierced octagons with our plain octagons. Then, because we've got all of these available, you've got your scalloped and pierced squares on top of your plain squares, and then just built up very simply. But once you've done them 3 layers, whether you go for plain, whether you go for different finishes, or whether you start bringing in colours to this sort of mix and match, doesn't really matter. It's just giving you that foundation to build up on top of. I don't think you could make a bad card.
No.
If your first 3 layers all coordinate.
Absolutely. And that's your foundation, isn't it?
Done.
We were talking about that this morning. You can't build a house on wonky foundations. You need that base. And these are absolutely perfect. Really, really clever. So if you want that little lot, it is Shop Octagon. It's a... Wow. How did that... That's weird.
It is, and it's been falling off all day.
Oh, that's it.
Just
Oh, all right.
so bad.
Oh, I just jumped off there. I was like, what's going on?
In the building,
No, they're in Stephanie's house. They are.
Oh, are they?
Yeah, they are.
Are they?
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah. If you want to give away from our Jamie, you're going to give away a card.
Of course we are.
Just type the code WIN and you will get a giveaway. Right, Octagon, bundle of 5 sets, layering octagons, 95 dies. I know, for $109.99. That's amazing. Just over £1 a die.
Not too shabby, is
Not
it?
too
Not when
shabby
you think
at all.
They go up to 8
And
by
you
8.
might
They're
not expect to
huge.
pay £1 for that size, but you certainly wouldn't expect to pay £1 for that size either, would you? So, brilliant opportunity for you to grab these octagons in all those different, with all those different options. I love that. I love versatility. There's nothing better than buying a craft product that you can do lots of different things with,
Exactly.
right?
And we just keep
Love
adding
it.
to them. Like the octagons are the latest, there will be more as we go down the line,
Perfect.
so you know that you're going to get more options to build with.
And look at that. Just look, that's simple. Look how beautiful that is. It just adds in that extra detail, that extra level of care and attention, doesn't it? That card's beautiful, Jamie.
Thank you.
Those 4 are yours, aren't they?
No, the top
not?
three are.
Top three are.
The top three are. I think this one at the bottom, Sharon's. Yeah,
Oh,
Sharon's
nice,
done the right
Sharon.
one.
Good job,
Yeah.
Sharon.
Do you
They're
know?
lovely. I love that.
Not in a boastful kind of way, but in a like my socks nearly fell off kind of way.
Yeah.
I got 1,000 likes for that.
I am not surprised.
I've never, if I get more than 5, I'm like, whoa.
Look at you.
I got 1,000
That
likes. I was
is
like,
absolute.
"Oof." So you'll see just 75 versions of that card between now and next month. Next time I'm playing in my room.
That's going to be
Anyway,
your Christmas
gold
card,
and white,
isn't it? Gold and white,
Doesn't
all
matter what we
over.
do, gold and
It
white.
is stunning. I
But
mean,
no,
if you
it's
receive
easy.
that at Christmas, you'd be absolutely delighted. Good for you. And I love that you've embossed with the day. Got that texture coming through there as well.
Yeah, so
haven't
it's
you?
just cutting two, basically
Yeah,
cutting
brilliant.
one in white, one in gold, and then sticking one on top of the
top of the
other
other.
to make sense.
Absolutely
but I mention
glorious.
the likes because I always think if it's doing that well socially, if you're somebody who's going to be making to sell, you know you're onto a winner. If we've shared it and the world's liked
Absolutely.
it, you know your stall's going to stand out. So to me,
Without
that's
a doubt.
important.
Right, let's talk about double-sided adhesive sheets.
Okay.
These are cracking, aren't they?
So these are 5 sheets. They're A4. They're self-adhesive in a one go. So think double-sided tape if you've not seen them before, but A4 wide. And you might wonder, why do I need this? This is all about giving you the ability to add more to them. So maybe, for instance, you're going to bring in your gilding flakes like we have for this card here. We've just cut a little strip, we've stuck on our flowers, and we've infilled the rest of the area with the next colour of flakes. So they work in that sense. You can also stick this to your cardstock and then die cut out of it. So when you're coming to stick down filigree items like these corners, for instance, you don't have to worry about putting glue on them. You can just peel off the back. You've created your own stickers and they're going to work for you in that format.
That's so much easier with your detailed dies, isn't it?
It is, yeah. Especially words, which can sometimes be a bit
Yes.
sort of finicky.
And you want a complete edge-to-edge adhesive because
Yes.
that's the bit that's going to flick up, isn't it?
Yes.
Especially when you're doing really detailed designs. That's fabulous. Shop sticky. Sorry, Sophie, I'll need a price for that, my love, please.
$3.99.
$3.99. Oh, stock
5
up on
sheets.
those. And you do lots of techniques with these as well.
We do,
don't you?
yeah. The sheet that you're left with, the like lid of your double-sided tape, don't bin that. Keep that, and then
Absolutely.
just keep an eye out. I'll keep giving you ideas with them because there's so many things we can do.
Yeah.
Even if you just use them like a disposable paint palette,
Yes.
it's better than just throwing it in the bin.
Exactly that. Right, next one now. These flakes are lovely.
Thank you.
I fell in love with these last time. They're really different colours and I think they're absolutely magnificent. You get the glue with it. So you get the 30ml bottle of the sticky stuff. And then you're going to get 6 pots? All six.
Six.
All 6 of them. Absolutely fabulous. There's 100ml in each. And they're gorgeous, gorgeous colours. So you've got your rose gold. Just lift that up. Look at that colour. Isn't that spectacular? So you've got your rose gold, you've got your vintage chrome. That's nice.
It's gorgeous.
Yeah.
It's like a proper full-on silver.
It is, isn't it?
There's no
Then
hiding from that.
No, there isn't. No, they're out and proud. Look at that. Then you've got your wild wisteria. That's a lovely pink too. Then you're going to get your magpie gold. Yeah, that's very sparkly and shiny, isn't it? Love that name. Then we've also got your candy pink. That's a lovely soft colour, very gentle colour. That's like the antique pink from Cadence, that colour. So if you've got that paint, these would work perfectly. And last but by no means least, you've got Ocean Waves with that lovely, lovely colour in there. All
of a greenie on
6,
that
it
one.
is, it's a greeny blue, it's on the cusp of a green and a turquoise,
Yeah.
isn't it really? So that one is Shop I'm reading. Honestly, you know when you read something and it just doesn't register, I'm like, what? We're just like blank today. Shop Flake gets you all 6 pots, so 600ml of gilding flakes plus your glue. $37.99. You've got a £7.70 saving. Right, I need to talk to you about these waxes.
Oh.
That colour I need in my life. I've never seen it. Look at that. Look how beautiful. My first wedding dress, you know, the whole thing was a disaster. But the marriage was just a disaster, was that colour.
That is gorgeous.
It's
I love
lovely,
that sort of soft
isn't
pink.
it? It's so, so pretty. That is spectacular. Are you getting, is it 2 different sets of 3?
No, you get all 6
of them.
together. Yeah, all 6 together. So you've got...
go on, you talk me through it.
So you've
Your
got
product, you talk me
Copper
through
Pot,
Yes.
Silver Star, Snow White, Gold Bullion, Cherry Blossom, and I've done this wrong because you've got 2 Snow Whites.
That's
You're not
why I
meant
was
to have
thinking
a
it was 2 or
second
3.
Snow White, honestly. Did I put them back
I'm
in
glad
the box?
it's not
I think
just
I put them
me.
back in the box. There's
Well,
one
we'll
called
show you on here.
Raindrop. It's blue. I'll go
This
get
one.
one.
this one, right?
Oh yeah, you've got it on a board.
I've got it
yeah,
on a
that'll
board.
do. You've
Look.
got that. Pretend this white is actually that blue.
Now we're all creative, so we've got an
Yeah, we
imagination,
can do
right?
that.
You can imagine.
Fine.
They're beautiful, Jamie. Talk to me about them. Are they what? Are they water-based?
So
Are
they're
they
an
oil-based?
oil-based wax. You
Lovely.
can apply them with your finger. You can use them with daubers. You can. Which something I really love is like obviously there's limits to how many colours we can bring in at one
Yes.
time. So don't fear. Hook a little bit of each of them out, mix them together, create new colours.
Wonderful.
I found I needed a green, so I was making my own greens, for
Perfect.
instance. I'm sure we'll add more colours way down the line. But at the moment, mix to create if you need to. As you can see, they can be used on dark cardstock, light cardstock. We've gone for white and black, but you can use them on all shades in the middle too.
That's just stunningly beautiful.
It's just so
that pink.
soft, and they go on quite light, so you can build them up.
Yeah,
You know, they're
it's
not
really
too heavy
lovely.
out of the pot, which is
No.
what I love. Sometimes these things are just all or nothing.
Yes.
With these, you can let them sort of settle and then come back and add more if you want to.
They're absolutely stunning. I like the little jars they come in as well. They're
Thank you.
super cute,
So
aren't
there's
they?
20 grams in each pot.
Wow.
So again, they last a very, very long
Yeah,
time.
you only need a touch of them, don't
Yeah.
you? So if you want those, it's sharp metallic, and they're $31.99 for all 6, which is a great price. Now then, this morning you did a launch without me. What's
I know,
going on?
rude. Where was
Very
you? You
rude.
left me.
I was. I did. I left you. Left you with Amanda.
Amanda's lovely.
She is
Lovely woman,
lovely.
Amanda.
Absolutely. Now these are gorgeous. I love these dies. If you're a scrapbooker, these are perfect.
Yeah.
If you've got a teenager going away and they're having a gap year from university, these are going to be perfect. So you're going to get your suitcases that you can decoupage up. You've just been on a cruise and you want to scrapbook that, that's going to be fabulous. I love the fact you've even put the waves in.
You need the waves.
That's
you can't
very
have the waves
clever.
to the sea.
Then you've got your old-fashioned motor, your vintage motorbike. Love that. I bet that seat's really hard. You know what? Every time I see
Are
on a
you
bike
brave
now, I'm
enough?
like, ow.
Motorbikes?
No, my mum always made me promise I'd never go on a
Yeah.
motorbike, so I never have.
Sometimes.
Then we've got steam train, vintage steam train. That's amazing. And you've got the smoke that comes out of the
The
top.
smoke also goes with the ocean liner.
Yes.
It also makes a really good cloud to
Cloud.
go with the plane.
Yeah.
And a lot of the DT have been using it as bushes.
I was just about to say that. That's
Didn't even think of
perfect.
that.
Yeah,
That was great.
absolutely. Is that the one that's... Oh, look at the dye. Oh, and
So-
you've got the deboss detail in here,
these
Jamie.
dyes are the most etched dyes we've ever done.
Wow.
When we submitted these to manufacture, they said, we can do that, but it's going to take 3 extra days in manufacturing to do that level of debossing.
Wow.
So yeah, it was a bit of an undertaking, but they've worked and we're delighted with them.
They're
And it
fabulous,
just means
aren't
that
they?
as you
Look at
cut them,
these.
you're going to get that intense detail.
Wow.
So when you come to colour them, whether it's with your waxes, whether it's with your markers, polishes, whatever you want to do with them, you're starting
they're
from a
really-
base plate that's going to be really detailed.
They're super
Even
special.
colouring them is made easier because all of that deboss work is giving you the areas to colour to.
Absolutely fabulous. I love these. I think these are absolutely super. And I saw this one on your Instagram.
Oh, did you?
The other day I
keep
did, I
trying
liked
with
it.
Instagram. I'm not good with Instagram.
I know, I liked
keep
it.
trying.
You keep trying.
Keep trying.
Vintage car, look at that. The detail on that is just fantastic. I think they're amazing. And that level there is quite...
All
All right, we need to see these boards,
Do you want to
Jamie.
see these?
Yes, please.
This is the car. If we go back to the
Wow.
car. So that's what we mean about the etching. That's
at
what we're talking
that.
about. That's where that detail's coming in. This one's the motorbike. Wow. This one's the ocean liner, to give you an idea of where we are.
Incredible.
I don't think you've done the bicycle yet, have you? Have you done the plane? You've done the plane. So there's
the
the
plane.
biplane. And then there's our lovely sort of
Train.
effect. And then we did the suitcases, didn't we?
Suitcases.
So
You've got
there's
your
the
bike.
suitcases.
I like the bike.
And then here's the bike.
And again, they're all available individually for you to purchase on liveshopping.vip, so you can make choice. There will be a drop down, so it'll be options for you to select from. You've got your biplane. That's a cracker as well,
I've gone
isn't it?
past that. Got excited. That's gone. There you go.
Look at that. They're great. I love that level of deboss. That's really unusual as well. And then you've also got your tags. Oh, that's what's fallen off.
Yeah, it was. It was one of the little ones.
The little ones.
One of the little ones.
Tags.
So then you've got your tags, and this is the complete set. So you've
That's
got your little
brilliant.
luggage tag. That will even score for you. So when it comes to actually folding it, it's easily done.
Love it.
Your frame, I fell in love with this frame. I need
love
more
that.
of these.
Yeah, me too.
I really fell in love with this. But it's an A6 frame and it's going to fit sort of all of your components so that they can go in it quite nicely.
Brilliant.
So if you want to build up a little album of those,
Yeah.
whether you want to use it in your scrapbooking, whether you just want to use it on card fronts, you can. Then you've got all of the tickets that match in with the stamp set so that you can cut these parts out. So like your triangles here, for instance, you've got your little tag to go with your circular ones.
Perfect.
Then you've got your proper tickets as well that are going to match up with these ones.
See, all thought of. Everything that you need to make your card,
Yes.
you're bringing for the customer, aren't you? And these are great. I love the stamps. They're very, very, very clever. Yeah, brilliant. And I love that because you could put little photographs in it, couldn't you?
Yeah, you could do, yeah.
They'd be really nice place settings, actually.
That'd be cool.
Wouldn't
Yeah,
they?
no reason why you couldn't. Yeah.
So
why
if
not?
you want those, it's shop travel. It's $89.99. It gets you all of that plus the stamps, which is cracking. Right, shall we go to
Should we
the
play?
Yeah,
Come
go
on.
on. Go on then. Oh, I love it when we get to play because Jamie is so talented. He's so good at what he
bless
does. No, you are, seriously.
Oh, I don't
See,
know if I can handle
Zana Baker says, what lovely sets, all these ideal for men's cards. Absolutely. Mandy Anderson, love Jamie's demos and tips. Made a card between the last show and this show using tips from the first show.
Oh, that's good.
Using a previous collection, so much inspiration. Absolutely.
That's what it's all about.
Natalie says she agrees with me. We still want a workshop with Jamie.
Oh dear. I don't
So
think
one
we'd
time when
forgot
you
that.
come up,
I dodged that.
what we need to do, no, you're not dodging it.
Not dodging that,
No, you're
no.
not dodging it.
Stop.
There's no way you're dodging it because our customers would love it. So next one time when you're up, we'll arrange it. We'll get you in the academy and we'll set up a day. How about that?
All right.
You're
That's
not
as
getting
much
out of
as
it.
agreement
Listen,
you
Andrew, right. So Andrew, you know Andrew, our
I do know
producer.
Andrew. Andrew's lovely.
He's produced thousands of scan and cut shows. So the other day, one of our lovely viewers, Mitch, said to him, if we get to, she started this campaign, and you've got to get 1,000 votes, and then Andrew is going to do a 9 p.m. after the Watershed scan and cut show where he demonstrates,
Okay.
I present, and David's going to produce.
Okay. This
So
is fun.
It's going to be chaos. Now,
You'll be fine though. You lot can all do that.
absolutely.
You're such a talented
so
bunch.
if you go to highlight your creativity, you'll find it on there. Find Mitch Walker's post and vote. So get everybody
Okay.
voting, Jamie, because
Okay,
it's going
I
to be
will.
hilarious. We're trying to get him to dress up.
Oh,
I've
okay.
already
So
got
we're
him
not
to
happy
back
with just like the level we're at.
No, I'm trying to get him to dress up. And he's promised that if you get to 600 rather than 1,000, he'll consider it. So we need to get to 600 and we need to make him do it.
Okay. I
So
will see what I can do.
let's
to
get
help.
on a mission,
Do we know
shall
where
we?
we're at currently?
We're not far off 600, but we
Okay,
need a
but
few
we need
more.
the push.
Yes, we
We
do.
need the push.
Absolutely.
Okay. So what I've done here is I've just gone ahead, I've done a couple of panels just so you can see them cutting. So I've used the filigree piece in there and I've sent it through so that you can see how it's going to come out as fretwork. I've also cut one of the solid ones. Now this is of course where you can bring in different colours to put behind them, but for this demo what I've done is I've used one of the self-adhesive sheets, I've put that over a piece of white card and then I've chose to cut my triangle out. So I've got a perfect sticky triangle that I can now bring in my top piece, the one with the filigree work. I can match that up and apply that down. You can even bring in the lid again and make sure that you've got a nice firm bond between the two. Now what we've created is a sticky area in between all that filigree work. So this is where we're going to bring in our gilding flakes. And we're going to break into this one. This one's the Wild Wisteria. It isn't actually. I think
is
the
it not?
lid's
Do you keep the
the lid
lids?
it just stays in there
Oh,
and
yeah,
it just
good.
keeps the way I try to be. Probably more laziness than good in fairness. They're not new. And then all we're going to do is just burnish down. Now you can blend your colours. I've just gone for one colour at this stage, but maybe we want to do the tip one shade, the middle another and the end another.
Nice.
That would work perfectly. There's no reason why you couldn't. We could be adding the gilding flakes over our foam tape to make a matching border. Great for doing stoppers on easel cards. We could of course put the gilding flakes over a quickie glue pen instead if you want to do some fancy writing or
lovely that
journaling
is.
maybe. So loads we can do with this bit. We'll put these out of the way for the second. We'll clean up later on. And we'll bring these back. So we've got a couple of sections here. Now I haven't flaked all of mine, but I'm going to show you how I'm going to put these together quickly.
Okay.
So we mentioned earlier that we have the stencil, didn't we?
Yes.
So if we bring this in and we imagine, and you might not want to cut out an octagon to put under it, but if you cut the octagon that comes within the set, then we mentioned that there is that scalloped line running around here. It will match up. We can stick that on. We can then flip it over and then we know that we're in the right place to put our segments.
Clever.
But if we just want to do it on a card front, then there's no reason why we can't. And then we can pick where we want that to be, and we can still see through the stencil enough. But if we was to say we want to be in the middle, so to speak, we could anchor that down and then bring these in and start placing them back within here, knowing that when we take that away, if they're stuck down, they're going to be equally spaced and in place for us, so that everything's going to match up and we've got no fear of there being room between them. But we don't have to use the stencil, and for this demo I'm not planning to. So what I'm going to do instead is just a bit quicker. We're going to bring in some foam tape, and we're going to take our segments and we're just going to place foam tape on the back of them, trim that across the top, and then add on our next segment.
Clever.
And I would just carry on doing that all the way round, because then what I've done is I've put foam tape on my panel ready for it to be built up. I've anchored all of my pieces together so it's strong enough to be posted, strong enough to sort of stand the test of time, but it's ready to work and easy to do. So just carry on building till you're completed, which is what I've done here, and then all of my tape is on the reverse holding that together for me. You don't have to do that. You can glue them all down if you want to, and then build them up. But I just find that a bit quicker and easier, I suppose, if I'm honest. So that's how I tend to do mine.
Well, you're also not wasting another piece of card, are you?
Exactly. Yeah,
right?
Everything's done for you.
Yeah, perfect.
Now, I suppose, in honesty, we could, thinking logically, we could just take a self-adhesive sheet, stick all the triangles on the self-adhesive sheet, cut round the edge of that if you prefer.
That way.
But this way is kind of easier.
Yeah,
I think
I like
cleaner,
that way.
quicker, possibly.
Absolutely.
But all roads lead to Rome, so to speak. Hopefully, we hope.
We hope.
So we'll place that down on the top there, and then we can start bringing in some layers. So we'll start off on the base of this card with some silver mirror card, because we've got some silver going through our layers in different areas. We'll bring in that silver to go onto the base.
Perfect.
And then we'll build up with a white layer to go on top of that. I say that. Do I want that one or do I want that one? I want this one because it's got some gems on it. So we'll go flat. Glue. Mel. Forgot me glue today.
Jamie.
I know. Out of all the things that I could forget, glue.
Glue.
Shocking, isn't it? But thankfully, I creatively borrowed.
You did.
This from next door.
Absolutely, you did.
So I've been rescued. But it's lovely glue. It's good glue.
Good glue. Yeah,
Very good glue.
But yours, you do in bigger bottles, don't you? And you
We
can put
do.
the nozzle down to the size you want, and then you've got a big litre one that you can decant into, which is great. All of this you're going to find on liveshopping.vip for you, which is great. And as I said earlier, the reason that we've done a separate website for our external suppliers is so that when they leave the building, the product doesn't leave with them. So you've got a chance, an opportunity every day to go and shop, Jamie's brand shop. So check that out. And also, it just speeds up the whole process, because if we're trying to put all of those products on one website, it slows everything down. So we decided to create a completely separate website for our external suppliers, because it also means that they can decide on the discounts that you get, which is brilliant. You know, like on that mega bundle, you're getting a £24.92 saving. That's a lot more than 10% would have been. So it's a great place to shop. I go there on quite a regular basis. I know.
There's worse places to hang out.
Oh, no, it's great.
Yeah, exactly.
Love it.
So what I'm doing now is I've brought in one of the self-adhesive sheets, and I'm just placing this down on top of a piece of our black card. And then I'm just going to trim this, because I don't need all of it, but we're going to flake a small amount of it, and then we'll die cut from the card.
Wonderful.
And I really like doing this on black card. The original one of this is done on white, but I'm going to show you the black as well, because what I find I like about this is we end up with that black edge coming in from around our die cuts, and that's really lovely.
Yeah,
So
nice.
colour-wise, because if we can stick to one shade, but we'll do a bit of that one, and then shall we do some mixing?
Oh, yes, please.
Shall we bring in, this is the lovely candy pink.
Lovely.
We'll dig into this. Make sure that the studio is covered in colour, shall we? Sorry.
It's all right, Amber's back next week. She's been away for nearly 3 weeks. It's killed us, honestly. But the worst bit is, as Amber comes back, Sam goes off for 2 weeks.
No.
So it's like, it's just constant.
One in, one out.
Absolutely.
So what we're going to do now is we're just burnishing. Now I've taken quite a bit out of my pots to create this. I'm never worried about that, because what I've got now left in my tray is a perfect mix that I can put into a little bag, or I can put into an empty pot if I've got one, Or I can take straight away and mix into something else, maybe a texture paste, and create my very own matching texture paste to complete this project with.
And do you know what? There won't be another piece of card in the world that looks exactly like that, will there?
And that's what I absolutely love. Now, we could have
do
stuck to just one shade, but actually seeing the silver, the pink, and then the wisteria all coming through together, to me, is much nicer.
That's incredible.
Much nicer than just one shade. But what I wanted to do with this is I want to show you it die cutting, because I think sometimes we forget that once we've created these panels, that we can die cut from them to create new effects. So let's pop this out of the way.
And the adhesive doesn't stick to the dies at all?
No, it shouldn't do. If you find that it does and you've not covered enough flakes, then maybe dust it with an anti-static pad, or if you've got some talc to set to one side, you know, something like that that's just going to take away the stick. But usually you should be able to feel that there's no stick there, and we should be okay. So we'll send this one through the machine and let them cut out. So this, of course, is our rippled star bloom. So not only is it going to cut, it's also going to deboss for us. So all of them details on the petals are all going to be put in place. And again, that opens new options to us. Because once we've done this, maybe we want to bring something in to add on over the top. And we can do that if we'd like. And it just means that we've got more options to create. So let's dig in and see what we've created. So there's all our flowers.
Wow.
So let's hook this first one out for us.
This is spectacular, Jamie. I love
They're just pretty, aren't they?
Yeah.
So there's our first flower. And this is what I mean about the black. I don't know if you'll see it against the white counter, but it means that we've now got a black edge running around these flowers. And it just kind of, to me, gives them a bit more of a modern look, maybe.
Yeah, I love
a bit
it.
of a different point of interest.
And again, your flowers are never going to be the same twice, are they?
No.
It's just such a great idea using that double-sided adhesive with those flakes and then die cutting it. How spectacular are they? And everyone's going to go, how on earth have you done that? And it looks like you've done it, cut them out and then put the glue on meticulously and then put the flakes over. It's so easy to do it that way.
All done for us.
And I love the fact that you've got two of each of the size of the flower on one plate. And then that can be another piece, couldn't it, that you could build the flowers up through?
Yeah, you could. You could easily do another one and then put them back in.
Absolutely.
Or use this as a stencil.
Really
cool.
cool.
Loads of ways in which we could use this
Absolutely.
bit. But the part that we've created, these bits, them flowers, and this isn't for this card at all, but it's nice to share with you why we're here. So if we was to bring in a Stays-on ink, for instance, because obviously we're on a non-porous surface, so we want to make sure that we're using an ink that's going to go on and stay on, hence the Stays-on. But if we start brushing this over the top, we're going to get the black top coming through as a metallic, but we're still going to maintain those incredible lines that we've put through in the background by that debossing. Now, I know we're doing this with the flower, but you think about the car, the bike, all of them different bits, or the violin, they've all got them same deboss elements to them.
They're going to look amazing.
So when highlighted, that's what we're going to get. Now, we have gone off on more tangents than a little from where we were meant to be for this card.
That's all right. It doesn't matter.
But we'll bring in the flowers that we were actually aiming for, which are just now actually kind of boring. They're just one-tone flowers, to be honest. But we'll bring some of these in and we'll stick these around the edge just so you can see.
You do that like I do, and you do something new and you're like, oh, now I need to go back and do that, and now I need to redo this, and now I need to redo the other.
The bit I dislike is the wrong word. That's a bit harsh. The bit I don't enjoy about this job at all is doing the kits.
Right.
Because of the kits, I know where it's going to end up.
Yep.
I know what I've done. I know why I've done it.
Yep.
And then like this, I struggle because it's not necessarily that I don't like what I did, but I've seen how that ends up. So now I want to do it completely different.
So you don't like making the same card twice? No, I'm like that.
And the kits, that's if I can, anybody else, I will.
I remember doing, do you remember Sally Jacks from Ideal World?
Yes.
I did her wedding invitations for her, and there were 50 of them, and it was all die cut. And there were, I got to like 3 and I was like, oh, I'm bored of this now. Why did I offer to do this?
But I admire people who
But they were lovely. And she was very pleased with them. But yeah, I got to a stage where I was like, oh, this is painful now.
Some people love doing that, don't they?
Yeah, absolutely.
You know, they know where it's going to go. They know it's safe. They know it's going to look good.
Exactly
and I get
that.
it, but I just can't.
No, I can't either.
Yeah, that's not
right, I'm just going to do a quick recap.
Right.
We can get ready for another quick demo. That'll be lovely. Right, now then, where's he put my boards in? Under here. There we go. Now then, I want to talk to you about these that were on earlier because these are stunning. I love this. You heard Jamie say it took an extra 3 days. in the manufacturing process to get this level of detail and deboss. Look how incredible that looks just in white card. Isn't that amazing? You've got the smoke that also goes with the liner. So you've got the ship in there as well. Look, even down to the little anchor being debossed into there. All the little windows of the cabins in there. Even the detail in the waves. They're really absolutely magnificent. Look at the motorbike. I mean, that on mirror card with black stairs over the top would look extraordinary. That would be a really great one to do. And snip into these and decoupage them up. But look at the vintage car. My mum and dad had a car like that when they were first married, an MGB GT they had. Red one.
Look at that from memory.
I know. How about that?
That was a lot of letters.
That was an MG, I know, right? And then you've got your suitcases all stacked on top of the other. Then you've got your bike with your little flowers. That's really pretty. That's a lovely spring card, isn't it? It's like the spring's coming back. And then you're also going to get that biplane as well, which is super cool. Then, I tell you what would be really cool, if you did Deirdre, the Diva Disco Diva, and you did her own shrink plastic,
yes.
And then she could be wing walking.
That would be pretty cool.
That would be funny, wouldn't it?
That needs to be done.
It does need to be done. And then you've got your tags and this frame. And Jamie said he fell in love with this frame. I'm not surprised. It reminds me of those mirrors that you see with all the light bulbs in
Yes.
Hollywood. All the way around the outside edge. You've then got the insert that's come out of that. And you've got all your tags and your tickets, even your luggage tag that's scored down the middle so you can fold it and it works perfectly together. All of that is going to cost you shop travel $89.99. Now, that extra level of detail comes at a cost, but my goodness me, is it worth it? Those dies are absolutely spectacular. And as Jamie said, a swipe across with an ink pad makes such a difference because you've got that debossed. It's difficult to do that when it's embossed, and we've seen a lot embossed. To go the other way and to go in is a much more complicated process, both as designing and manufacture. So to get those for that price is brilliant. Right, Jamie, are we ready for another one?
Yep, we are, and I thought we'd bring both collections together.
Oh, that's lovely.
Okay.
I love that.
No, that all right? Okay,
Yeah, I love
so
it.
this is what we're going to do. So we are going to start off by talking about one of the die cuts and doing that inky bit that you just mentioned.
Yes.
Because that is really important that you get to see it if you've not seen it before. So I've got one of the cards here. So when we cut these dies, I would really recommend, you've got it with your machines, I know, that you cut it first and then you send it through your machine with your rubber mats.
Okay, perfect.
Because I know that we often say, oh, that isn't needed for a die. Because of the level of detail that are in these, it will really plus the end result.
Perfect.
So if you've got the time to do it, do that. If you haven't got a rubber mat with your machine, or you don't want to give up the time, put on a piece of scrap card over the top.
Yep.
So you've got your die, you've got the piece of card you want it to be, then a piece of scrap card. And that will push down further to give you more embossing.
We sell a pack, I think it's $12.99. You get a bag and you get 250. You know, like they're like Polly Pockets.
Okay, yes.
So they're thick. They're like the plastic that they wrap carpet in.
Okay,
It's a bit thinner than that, and we sell 250 of them. If you cut them in half, they're A4. If you cut them down to A5, you'd have 500. They work just as well as cut tidy.
Do they?
Yes, we'll get you some before you go.
Nice. Oh, I like
Oh,
that.
what's this?
So I thought
A
we would
magic
dig
wand.
into our waxes. Now, I was saying this morning. I saw Craig the other day
That's really clever.
do this, and I thought it was brilliant.
An old pen.
Well, he did his on Mr. bottles, but my Mr. bottles were too big.
Right.
So I found some just old marker pens in my stash
That's
as we
fabulous.
do.
And
I
finger
put them
daubers.
on the ends so that you know, finger daubers are great.
Look at that.
But how many times have we sort of started and then 5 minutes in you think, well, actually, this is a bit painful.
Look at
So
that.
actually, we can
That's
get to it, I
really
think.
clever.
Can't take the credit. As I
No,
say,
Craig, well done, Craig.
But I thought that was brilliant.
That is brilliant.
But all I'm doing now is I'm
great
just
idea.
taking this and going around the
love
edges of
that.
my card. We kind of need a tool that does it properly, don't we, really? One
do.
day, but
One day,
you know,
maybe.
at this
Yeah.
stage I'll settle for this because I think this works nicely. But we're just digging into the wax. As you can see, we're really not using a lot of the wax at all.
No, that's
This
lovely
one is
colour.
the raindrop.
That's
The
beautiful.
one that should be
colour.
over
It should,
there.
It should be over
But
there.
shh, that's my fault. I
That's
didn't
all
put
right.
it there.
I love that pink. Is just all the colours are lovely, but that pink in particular for me is very soft and very gentle. It's very feminine,
It's
isn't
just
it?
pretty.
And that's like a shiny new penny,
Yes.
isn't it?
Yes.
Really lovely.
Shall we show you the pink?
Oh, yes, please.
Should we do the pink? So this one's the cherry blossom.
Oh, love it.
So we'll pick up some of this. We'll go over to that side of the mat so
How
we don't get the
gentle
blue.
that is.
But you build if you wish to. You can
Yes.
stick with it as it is, or you can carry on building. And all of this that goes through onto the mat, I was showing you this morning. 2 hours after we'd started the show, you could still come back and pick this up and work with it.
Wow.
It's still usable.
Great.
It's not going to dry and set and not be usable on your blending mats, which just gives you more value for money because then nothing's wasted. We can
No,
literally pick that
absolutely.
up, take that to our project. But
This
to
would be
me-
nice on your triangles as well, wouldn't it? Before you put your lacy layer over the top.
That'd be
That'd
nice.
be really nice.
That'd be really lovely.
They're lovely, Jamie.
But that just saves ever having to buy a pearl card again
Yeah.
because everything now can
Yeah.
match and coordinate.
Well, we were saying, weren't we, last time you were in, car prices
Yes.
are going through the roof. We're going to have to find other ways than keep matting and layering with card. This is a great way to do that.
But like we as a brand, we do 100 pack of white card. That works out a lot cheaper than buying smaller
Correct.
packets. Lots
Absolutely.
of companies do.
Yep.
And that's the way that you could say, well, actually, I'm just going to stock white card in my stash.
Yes.
But I'm going to use it and colour all of the edges to match
Exactly
them with what I
that.
want.
Yeah, I love
and
it.
then it saves you having to have matching products to matching colours of card. Because although we try to bring that and we try to do that, it's not always possible. It's
No,
not
it's not.
always viable.
That idea.
But having everything coordinate is so much more important.
That's brilliant.
It just
that.
gives you that professional look from beginning to end, doesn't it?
Yeah, and look at that. From a piece of white card, a bit of an ink pad rubbed over the top, and then 2 of your waxes, well, 3 of your waxes now. How spectacular does that look? If you're somebody that is buying dyes like this and you don't like colouring in and you want something a bit different, this is brilliant. Because look at that level of deboss. And you're really putting, you're not being gentle with it
no.
at all, are you? You're putting some pressure on that.
Yeah.
And look, the depth of that deboss is quite extraordinary. I don't think I've ever seen dyes like that before.
And that's what we want.
Very
we need
clever.
different, we need new, we
Yep.
need the next level. And
Absolutely.
that's literally what we're trying to
Good for
achieve
you.
with these.
Love that.
So once we've got our cars done and we've got our panels completed, so we start gluing this together. How are we doing for time? Are we
We've
all
got
right?
4 minutes.
Okay.
You can go over a bit if we need to.
Oh, no.
We're fine. We haven't got a show after this till 6 o'clock.
Oh,
We're quite
goodness.
chilled out and laid back here.
That's it. We'll be here till 5:54. 5:54 we'll leave. We'll stop waffling.
Oh, no.
So we're bringing our next
Love
level
that.
and we'll place this on. Now on the earlier show, and I know these are going to be available on the brand shop now if they're not on this show, we were showing you some of the stencils. So this one
Lovely.
is the diamond stencil and I've just sent it through the Pro Cut with my rubber mat, so I've embossed it. Whether we use the emboss or the deboss is fine, but it just takes our stencils and brings a whole new world to them.
And it
which is what
stops
I
having
love.
that white space.
Yes.
That white space that no matter what you do, if you've got white space and there's nothing there and it looks odd, it draws your eye to it, doesn't it,
It does.
straight away?
And a stencil and 3D folders are lovely. I love 3D folders. We're working on 3D folders. We're bringing you those later in the year, hopefully, if all goes to plan. But 3D folders are so impressive, you do kind of lose...
The
it can-
craftability.
Well, no, it just sometimes it overpowers what you're
Yes, it
doing,
does.
where actually a stencil embossed,
Yeah.
I think, is really subtle
Absolutely.
and
I love
pretty.
a stencil embossed.
Where a 3D folder can
Yeah.
really take it away, and you're a bit like, well, I don't want to cover that because
Yeah.
it looks silly to cover that.
Yeah.
That wouldn't look right on top of something
The
that
3D
impressive.
folder almost becomes the card, the
Yes.
focal point, doesn't
It's
it?
kind of got to be because
Yeah.
of the level it is.
Absolutely.
Most of the time. Not all of the time, most of the time. So we're going to bring in our suitcases. We're going to place them down off to one side. We're going to bring in our frame. We're going to tuck our suitcases behind our frame. We're going to bring in our ocean liner. And we're going to place this coming down over the front here. And then we're going to bring in some of our little tags.
That's
now,
amazing.
this is something that I really like, so I'm going to show it to you quickly as well. I've stamped these, I've die cut them. I didn't imagine that if I started bringing in waxes over the top, I would do anything but obliterate that tag and lose my stamping. But actually, I can go over these really nicely, start blending my colours over the top of these and create some cool vintage tags.
Yeah.
Although I've stamped and die cut first. Instead
Really
of doing
cool.
the sheet and then stamping on it, I can literally go in and
Do
colour
that.
around the edges.
And it makes it look more vintage, doesn't it? Because it knocks
Yes.
that harsh black back, and it works with the colours that you've used on your ship.
So we're just going to bring in a few of these components. So we've got
Love
our
this,
first class ticket, we've got our luxury travel triangle, and we've got our VIP birthday boarding pass. And we're going to we might put that one just down the front there. And then we're going to bring in some of our foliage. So this again is from the musical collection. This is bringing in the lavish foliage that we've brought you. So we're going to take the big part of that and we're going to place that coming down the frame here. And then we're going to take another one of these and we're just shaping this up. So again, this one's been coloured with the gold bullion from the waxes. So die cut in white, coloured with the gold. I'm going to tuck that one underneath.
Fantastic.
Oh, come here, you. And then we're going to bring in the other one, or there's three actually, but one of the others, the other large one from in that lavish foliage set.
Yeah, lovely.
And this one goes off in the other direction. So we're going to layer that over the top of this one.
Pretty is that?
And then we're going to bring in our flower just to cover up our gluey bit. And the flower again is the Rippled Star Bloom.
Wow.
And we've coloured that with the cherry blossom from the waxes.
Jamie, that's lovely. We're going to give that one away.
Yeah, if you like, yeah.
Do we want to draw a winner, Sophie, please? The winner is... Takes a while.
It is Lisa Evans.
Lisa Evans, well done, Lisa. We'll message us, please. Help at Highlight Crafts and we'll get that sent out for you. Thank you, Jamie. As ever, it's been a pleasure. Back in 2 weeks?
4, I think, this time,
4
actually.
weeks.
4 weeks, yes.
4 weeks.
Rude, I know, I'm sorry, but
No,
yes,
that's
4
all right.
weeks,
That's
4
all right. We'll let you off because you bring such amazing products and fantastic demonstrations. Thank you to everybody for watching. Don't forget to check out your baskets and don't forget to go and check out that brand shop on liveshopping.vip. We'll see you back at 6 o'clock. Take care.